lazy vlog. Kind of random, but if you have never tried the Daya, the new one, I think it's like cutting block or cutting something. It's the new Daya cheeses. If you haven't tried them, don't, because they're amazing and they're not cheap. Anyway, that's what I'm eating right now with nachos. So we're not gonna probably have a good weigh-in this week. Anyway, adoption news, which I know I normally do that Sundays or Mondays, but I got paid today, so I'm putting it up tomorrow, which is Friday, because I don't know, I like to talk about it. So anyway, so a couple things. So first off, I paid for my adoption training, so that was a big thing to get done. If you've been following me on my journey for a long time, I'll try to remember to link it up here, but back in 2012 when I did, I attempted private adoption, I actually had to fly to Winnipeg to do my adoption training. It was 2 days. I did my registration at the same time, but I had to fly out, which cost money. I had to stay in a hotel and whatnot. So it wasn't as bad as it would be now because I had Shulva, and Shulva was great in hotels. Taylor, not so much. She's looking at me. So yeah, that was interesting. So it actually cost me probably more to travel out there than it did for the actual training. But this time is different. This is self-guided, which I would definitely not recommend for everyone. Self-guided, I've always taken online courses and done really well with it. And in terms of adoption stuff, I've already taken in-person courses. I've connected with a lot of people through Facebook and Instagram that have adopted children with Down syndrome, that I've adopted from India, who have adopted in general. So I don't feel like it's a requirement for me to do in-person. Even when I did in-person classes before, I didn't feel like going in person really added a whole lot to my experience, because almost everyone there was a married couple who had TTC'd for a long time, had tried IVF. Like, it just wasn't the same as what I can reach out to now, where it's like, oh, there's this single mom by choice that adopted. Oh, there's this person that adopted a child with Down syndrome. Oh, there's these people that adopted from India. Oh, there's this single mom by choice that's adopting a child with Down syndrome from India. Like, it's a lot easier to connect, I think maybe now than in 2014. Anyway, so I'm excited for that. So that should get mailed to me. I'm not sure when I'm going to get it, but I will. Another thing I did was I paid for part of my courting agency registration. I had paid $575, I think I gave them, so I still owe them $1,000, which will happen in February. There was like a little confusion because I sent them an email saying, hey, I sent you some money and I'll pay you the rest in February, and I said I'm going to mail off my documents. So they said, okay, mail off your registration documents, and then we'll let Alberta know that you're registered with us, yada yada. And then they were like, once you're done your home study, we'll give you the information to do your psych eval. And I was like, I was told by my home study agency and the Alberta government people that I need to do it before my home study, as part of my home study. So we kind of emailed back and forth, and they actually got a hold of the person that does Alberta adoption stuff, and clarified with her that yes, to do it with my home study, because I guess like in the States, and maybe it's not a huge requirement to do it with my home study, but so I don't know exactly what the confusion was, because I know in the States people are needing it for their dossier, not for their home study. So anyway, they got back to me and said, no, do it for your home study. So I'm like, okay, because I have that booked for April, I want to say 2nd. I have a week off, the first week of April I have off. So I'm like, you know what? I booked the one for Medicine Hat, the one that was 7 something, because the one that was local, or gonna come locally, ended up saying, no, can you go to Medicine Hat? She's like, I'm only here in town for like so many days, like once a week, and I don't really have an office here, so I'd rather you come to Medicine Hat. And then it's like, well, if I'm driving to Medicine Hat, I might as well go for the cheaper one who requires fewer things, because why do more stuff than I need? So anyway, I booked with the one that was in Medicine Hat for 7 something. So that'll be done in April. The other thing I did was my police clearance. And it was funny because I got there and then I had to pay cash. And of course, I don't carry cash very often. I carry it for groceries, but not for random stuff like that. So I had to run to the bank, but I had to wait anyway because they fingerprint. So I needed to wait for the fingerprint machine to be ready because someone else was using it. So I ran to the bank, came back, and it was a parent of one of my students who fingerprinted me. So none of my parents, other than like I teach some of the students whose parents are teachers with me, so they obviously know, but none of the other parents know because they're not involved in my personal life. Now she knows because, I mean, I had to write down why I needed fingerprinting and police clearance. So it's digital fingerprints. She said that it's usually packed really quickly. She said they have to tell me 4 to 6 weeks, but she says it's usually a lot faster than that. And they actually just mailed me the results. So that's perfect because I don't have to go anywhere. I'm waiting for Alberta child registry check, which they're going to call me, which they haven't yet. But it's been not even a week, or just over a week. Can't remember when I did it. But anyway, they are going to call me. And then Ontario child registry check. So once I get the 3 registry checks, Ontario, Alberta, and the police clearance, so the 2 registry checks that I'm missing and the police check, then I'll mail that with my Manitoba, because I already have the Manitoba registry check. I'll mail those 4 things into my agency, and those will be done. So what are we doing? So end of February, I'm paying off the rest of my coordinating agency registration. The coordinating agency is the one that deals with India, so I'll pay the rest of them, and then that's February, so end of February, I get paid at the end of the month, so sometimes it's a little confusing. So end of February, that's what's happening. End of March, the money from the end of March and whatever's left over from the end of February will be, I'll have towards my, what do you call it? My mind just died. Oh, my psyche valve. And then so that's the end of March. It's going to go towards that. And I'll have probably about 500 to 600 left over from that. That can then go to my home study agency to go towards my home study. Or I might use that towards booking my flight home for Christmas, summer. I know my brother's flying back with me, so I don't know if we're going to wait to book our return flights. I don't know what we're doing. But, so that's end of March's money is going towards the April psyche eval. So then the end of April, I might use that for, I don't know what I want to do my home study now, but I'm possibly thinking to throw the money on the end of April to my home study agency, and then the money at the end of May towards my flights, and then the end of June will be my home study agency again. I need to book my flights at some point, but it's just trying to time everything so that my home study can get started and things don't expire and whatnot. So anyway, just rolling with it right now. We'll see what happens. See what prices are for flights too, because I'd rather get something cheaper if I can just wait a little bit. So we'll see what happens. But I'm just excited because now technically I'm registered with both agencies, even though I haven't paid the rest of the other fee. And now all I need for my home study is the psyche eval, and my medical check and my tax forms. But my tax forms I have to do regardless. It doesn't cost me anything. My medical check does obviously cost me. So once I get my stuff for my dossier, my paperwork for my dossier, which I don't know if they'll wait till my home study's done to give me that. I'm hoping they'll give it to me once I'm done paying registration, because I would love to do my medical checks both at the same time. But we'll see what they do. I don't know what they're gonna do. So yeah, so I'm so excited. Once my home study is approved, I can get, there's one grant I think I can apply to, and the other grant I have to wait until I have a referral. And then I know that for Reese's Rainbow, as soon as I have my home study approved, I can get a Reese's Rainbow, family sponsor program, I think it's called. Basically where people can donate and get, if you live in the US, get a tax receipt for it, because they check with my agency to make sure that I'm legit, and they also they're a registered charity, so by donating to them, they you get a tax receipt because you've donated to them, technically to them, and then I get the money. So yeah, So that's it. This was longer than I wanted to be. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to follow me along on this journey. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post those down below. Down in the description box, bunch of fundraisers. Please check them out because money is adding up quickly now. Thanks for watching. I shall see you guys later. Bye, guys.